take off my ring because I feel like I'm gonna get my hands dirty. Because I am making 4, count them, 4 things. First things first, I am preheating my oven because we're making garlic confit. That's the first thing that I'm gonna be making, which is literally just cloves of garlic cooked in olive oil, which I literally just need a bunch of garlic cloves, which I bought already. I randomly found a bunch of recipes online, which is what I'm basing this off of, but when I say recipe, I mean most of these are like mixing 2 ingredients together. That's actually a lie. All of them are literally just mixing 2 ingredients together. It's literally just gonna be garlic and olive oil. We're also making a sourdough starter, which is water and flour. We're also making vanilla extract, which is vanilla beans and bourbon. Also, we're making almond milk, which is almonds and water. I didn't know where to find like garlic bulbs, like the actual like head of garlic. I bought this big bag and the recipe calls for 3 garlic bulbs. I looked it up and there's an average of about 10 to 12 cloves per bulb. So I'm gonna use like 30 cloves of garlic. I'm excited. Am I gonna count out 30 bulbs of garlic? No. Because I would like to use more anyway. Garlic. I feel like I could use a smaller baking pan and or more garlic. I bought a pound of garlic. I'm gonna use half of it. Is that 30 cloves? Yeah, sure. I bought a large bottle of olive oil and I need 1.5 cups. Are we cooking for vampire hunters? Absolutely. Just always keep this in your fridge just so anytime anyone comes over. First of all, never mind, you don't even need this. You just have to not invite people into your home, and if they come in anyway, first of all, they're rude, but they're not a vampire. Because I would say like, oh, like to make sure that none of your friends and family members are vampires, you just invite them over and then you're like, hey, do you want a snack? And then you can be like, I made this garlic confit from scratch. Like, if you like garlic bread, you'll love it. And if they say, no, I don't want garlic bread, I don't like garlic bread, firstly, they could be a vampire. Or they could just not be your friend anymore, because if you don't like garlic bread, that's just fucking rude. Like, we shouldn't be friends anyway, because we're gonna go to an Italian restaurant, and I'm gonna be like, hey, actually that could work out in my favor, because we would go to an Italian restaurant, and I would be like, hey, do you want any of this garlic bread? And you would be like, no, I don't want any of this garlic bread. And I'd be like, ha! Fucker, more for me. Well, we have the garlic in here, literally like 30 cloves of garlic and a 1.5 cups of olive oil. And I'm literally just gonna throw it into the oven. I think at 200 degrees, literally just slow roasting garlic. So, start with an hour. It says 1 to 2 hours depending on how, I don't know, like caramelized or like how roasted. Roasted's the word I'm looking for. Step 1 of the things we were making today is done. Do we do the almonds next or the sourdough starter? Because the sourdough starter is super easy. I'm literally just mixing together equal parts flour and water. I am eventually planning on just going back to like my old job in order to get my old sourdough starter Anne. So I can mix my sourdough starter that I'm making today with some of the old sourdough starter that's been alive since like 2012. First of all, what are we naming the sourdough starter is the biggest requirement here. Because if I have to feed it and take care of it, then it's a pet and it needs a name. So we're gonna take 60 grams of flour, 60 grams of water, we're gonna mix it up in here. I have no idea what to name the sourdough starter. All else fails, like I might end up just like adding some of Anne to this, like the old sourdough starter from my old job, and then it's just gonna be Anne. I feel like I should name like the male version of Anne. What would the male version of Anne be? Well, tear this out. I feel like I should use filtered water because I don't trust the water here, but also the filtered water might be too cold. And Andy? I might name the sourdough starter Andy. Anntholomew. Oh, never mind. I want it to be Anntholomew. Alright, 60 grams. No, it's more like 70 grams of flour. So I'm also gonna add 70 grams of water. It's like lukewarm water, like room temperature. You don't want it to be too hot because it's going to kill the yeast. There's no yeast in here yet. You need a middle name too, so Andy something Anne. Andy Anntholomew Anne. Tiny spatula, just going to give it a good little mix. It's going to be like a weird pasty mixture. Literally after this, I just leave it in like a warmish area. Andy Anntholomew Anne. We got this paste, so step 2 is done. I'm just gonna put this over kind of near the oven. It's slightly warm over there, so in the meantime, what am I gonna do with this? make almond milk? Maybe. These almonds have been soaking in water for like over 24 hours, honestly. Basically, all I have to do is blend this, because I looked up a recipe, and it's like, now, after you blend it, take your nut milk bag. Your nut milk bag. What is a nut milk bag? I assume it's like, just you pour the nut milk in there, like the nuts, and it like strains it out. I was gonna use cheesecloth, and then I didn't get cheesecloth. So now I'm gonna use this bandana. This is like the closest thing I could think of to use, to like strain out the nut pulp. I used the gay one. I wanted to use the rainbow one because it's nut milk, it's almond milk. This is for the gays. In the meantime, grab all the stuff I need for my blender. So I literally just have this. I'm just gonna pour all of this in. I think I actually need new water in between this. Let me strain the almonds real quick through the this. Put these back in there. I think I need 4 cups of water. Please. No.
Damn.
What are you doing in here? And also, can you help me close this? The handle won't go down.
Some nut milk?
Some nut milk. We've already made enough nut jokes. The nut bag, and the nut milk, and the nut juice, and the nut pulp.
You gonna grind the nut?
Yeah, I'm gonna grind the nut.
Yeah.
Grind for this nut.
What the fuck? How do you close this?
Alright! Anyway, I gotta go get the child,
Okay,
so.
this is fun.
Okay, he's given up. No, you have to entertain
There
him.
must be something you have to do. Hey guys, how do you close this? I'll break it. Oh! It's good. Oh shit. Scared the shit out of myself. See, look, I did it, guys. Alright. Enjoy your nut milk. I'll enjoy it later.
How do I get it on now? I'm not used to this part of the blender. I'm tempted to just do it in the NutriBullet part.
It's gotta be this. No. Hey,
Wait. Just snap it.
there's something, I don't know how to close this.
Hold on.
Other than
I
forcefully.
think maybe you have to like. Gotta.
What the fuck?
We got there in the end. We got. Everyone shut
I am
up.
stupid.
Last 5 minutes didn't
I
happen.
know
No. Last 5 minutes didn't happen. Last 5 minutes didn't happen.
Forget about it. Hey, forget about it.
Hey, forget about it. That's pretty well blended because it's white now. I'm gonna pour this in here. Strain it through. It's interesting. Time to strain. We strain it in the gay bandana because again, it's almond milk. It's for the gays. This is milk. People are always like, oh, like where's the where's the titty of the almond? This is it. I feel like I'm milking a tit. I am milking the almonds. I got a little bit more almond milk in there. I mean, I might as well just make myself a glass to try now with the rest of it. So I'll throw you in here as I throw almond flour all over the place. I'll also put a little bit of vanilla extract in here. So it's like a vanilla almond milk. So how's everyone doing? There we go. Oh god. I think I'm just gonna get rid of the rest of this almond flour because I don't need a whole lot of it. I also am not entirely sure what's going on and I don't know what to do with this bandana now. Just a little splash. That might have been a lot. I don't know. A little dash. That might have been too much for my glass. Definitely need sugar if I'm adding the vanilla. And all I have left in this sugar bin is this giant chunk. We're learning how to make almond milk and garlic confit, and we're making vanilla extract. We're learning how to chisel. Everything's great. Spoonful of sugar helps the ungodly amount of vanilla extract I added into my homemade almond milk taste better. It helps it go down. Again, not bad. I don't think you're ready for the final thing we're making today. This is going to be the most expensive thing I make, and the most time-consuming thing I'll ever make. I'm gonna be making vanilla extract, which takes a year to make. I put the vanilla beans in here, along with some sort of alcohol. So let me get actually the vanilla beans first before I show you the alcohol I'm using. So first off, I went to the grocery store and I wanted to make vanilla extract. I've wanted to make vanilla extract for a long time. So I went to the grocery store and I'm like, I really hope they have vanilla beans. And I went to the grocery store, found that they had vanilla beans. There's 2 in like every little thing. And I looked at like the price tag that was under these and it was like $7.99. And I'm like, oh my God, like $8 for like 2 vanilla beans? That's wild. And then we went to the checkout. These were $24 each. This was $24. This was $24. And this was $24. So in total, this in my hand is $75 worth of vanilla beans. But also, one of my favorite versions of vanilla extract is made with bourbon. I really like vanilla bourbon. I don't understand a lot of alcohols. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. So I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna go to the grocery store and buy a random bourbon. And we were looking at the alcohols, and then my boyfriend was with me, and he's just like, should we just get like a really fancy bottle of bourbon? So I got a $50 bottle of bourbon. So we got $75 worth of vanilla beans, plus a $50 bottle of bourbon. This is the fanciest thing I will ever make. My red flag for this stream is thinking that making things from scratch would be cheaper than just buying them. I need a cutting board. Baby cutting board. I'm just gonna split these in half. When I say split them in half, I mean really just cut down the middle. Score them, question mark. Alright, they do smell so good though. Oh my God. I don't know, it's not like a processed vanilla, it's like straight vanilla, and it's a different scent. But also, it's still wild to me that these cost so much. I mean, I can afford it, but it was just wild to me, because I thought they were like so, I don't even know, like, it was just so funny, because I thought that like $8 for 2 beans was expensive. And then she started ringing them up, and I'm just like, oh fuck, that's like triple the price of what I thought it was. Slice this open, and then again, the random recipe that I'm using from online said for every 6 beans, 8 ounces of alcohol. So I'm gonna open up the fancy bourbon, and I'm also gonna try some of the fancy bourbon, because it's fancy bourbon. 8 ounces of bourbon. I gotta figure out how to open this. It's so fancy. Another reason I specifically bought this bottle is so I could put it up there, along with all of my other cool and fancy looking bottles. Okay, 8 ounces. Do you fit 8 ounces? I would assume so. It doesn't entirely fill the jar or the beans. Putting vanilla beans in a jar of bourbon for a year, or until something interesting happens. In the meantime, I want to see if my boyfriend wants to try any of the bourbon. Give me a second. Do you want to? I guess we're doing a shot of bourbon on stream.
Fancy bourbon.
Do you want to try the almond milk before you try the alcohol?
Yeah.
There you go.
Should be the chaser.
It's starting to get like a foam on top, which I feel like is interesting. Like you can see like a separation happening.
Tastes like nothing, to be honest.
I know, right? It tastes like water. $50 bourbon. Cheers. Oh. It's not bad.
That's
but it is
good.
still a shot of bourbon. Oh God.
Oh, clears your sinuses.
So does the garlic cooking. It is brown though. Like they do, I don't know how to show this to you guys without spilling boiling hot oil all over the place. I can tilt it about that much. But they're like browner. That is it for today's stream. I will update you on my sourdough starter and in a year, I'll update you on my vanilla extract. Thank you guys so much for watching, and so much for being here. And I will see you guys when I see you guys next.